Hello, welcome to the Warframe Collective. Today on Incarnon, please, we're going to take a look at another weapon that I think could use in Incarnon form. Now, on this series, we like to look at weapons that have been forgotten about, left behind, or just replaced with better weapons in the meta. And today, the weapons we're taking a look at are the Talons. Now, believe it or not, I actually have about 2,400 hours just on a PS4 version of Warframe. And a long time ago, when I was a young Tenno, I actually bought these for platinum because I didn't know how to acquire the blueprint for them at the time. But these weapons helped me complete the star chart because of their goofy ass blast gimmick, and I'm surprised they still work the way they do, considering the fact we got changes to the way blast damage works. So these are basically throwing melee weapons. They're kind of like shuriken, but they detonate when you click the R3 button or whatever button it is on PC. Now these are actually silent weapons, and that's funny considering the fact that you detonate them, and at base they have a 22% crit chance with a 2x times crit multiplier and a 26% status chance, and these are primarily puncture based. Now, way back in the day, this was the build I used to run on this thing back before I really knew how to build shit. But this is what we're going to be running on this weapon today. And to be honest, it really doesn't matter too much because I'm really just using it so I can show you guys the gimmick. This weapon has been left behind in terms of damage. There are far better options, so I wouldn't advise you use this thing. But if you want to use the Talons just to see what the goofy ass gimmick is like, I'll show you. Now, a long time ago, these used to do self damage, and people would basically only use them for that exploit to activate certain abilities. Now, these weapons are so goofy that when you throw them at enemies and you detonate them, enemies just fucking go flying. And it's the most hilarious shit I have ever seen. Now, this does not work on Eximus, and I guess I'm not surprised considering the fact that nothing really works on Eximus before you bust through that overshield. But with regular enemies, you can ragdoll the fuck out them, and it was always the funniest, most hilarious thing to me. And there's actually another weapon that had ragdoll physics, and I don't know if it still does, but if you guys ever heard of a little hand blaster called the fucking Sonicor, that shit used to ragdoll people like a motherfucker. Now, a long time ago, back when I was a young Tenno, I would come here to a COD, and there used to be a little railing right up there, right? And so basically what I would do is I would post up on the little railing, and I would just let the enemies attack the target, and I would just rain down hell on them with the Talons. Now, we're on still path, so obviously I'm not expecting these things to kill anything, but the fact that the ragdoll physics still work the way they do is absolutely hilarious. And it really makes me want DE to give this weapon an Incarnon form, you know? Like fucking turn this shit into like, I don't know, some boomstick or some shit. Give this shit like a melee Incarnon form where you just have this big ass boomstick, and when you hit enemies, they just fucking go flying. These weapons are absolutely hilarious. There's also another throwing melee that have pretty much been left behind, which are the Kastanas, but they don't have anything on the Talon. Look at that shit. Look at you. You're playing fucking volleyball with these motherfuckers. It's absolutely hilarious the way this weapon will ragdoll enemies. Too bad it just doesn't kill anything. That's the only thing it's missing, you know, the lethal damage. But the fact that it still ragdolls enemies makes me want DE to resurrect this weapon, because this weapon does hold a special place in my heart. I literally got through the whole star chart by using primarily the Talons as my secondary. So yeah, guys, if DE were to give the Talons an Incarnon form, I think it would be really cool if they turned it into like a boomstick melee weapon where you could just swing it at somebody and they'll go flying, or turn it into some kind of, I want to say, crossbow ballista launcher, where you can fucking put this thing on a crossbow and launch it at a group of enemies and the enemies will just go fucking flying in a cone shape. I think that would be hilarious, you know? At the end of the day, I just want to see some shit fly around. I love ragdoll physics in Warframe when it's not happening to the player. Anyway, guys, I have a question for you. You want to see a Kubro fly? Check this out, right? If you march right over here where these lovely little pups are, hit them with some Talons. Huh, the Talons give you wings. Look at that. You want to see a Kubro fly? You want to see a Kubro fly again? Bam, baby. Anyway, we all have that one crutch weapon that helped us get through the star chart. Sound off in the comment section what weapon helped you complete the star chart, or what weapon you would like to see be given in Incarnon form. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Please have a beautiful day. Peace.